Ever wonder if wrapping your car is going to send your insurance premium through the roof? It's one of the most common questions we get, and honestly, most people are worried about the wrong part of it. So let's clear it up. Here's the short version. A wrap almost never raises your premium. Think about how a carrier actually prices your policy. They're looking at your driving record. They're looking at what the vehicle's worth, how many miles you put on it every year, and where it sits overnight. That's the math. A layer of vinyl on the outside of the body doesn't move a single one of those numbers. You're not suddenly a riskier driver because your car's matte black instead of silver. But, and this is the important part, a wrap absolutely changes what your policy pays for. Because to an insurance company, that film is an aftermarket modification. Same category as a lift kit or a custom stereo, and most standard policies won't replace an aftermarket modification after a claim unless you told them it was there in the first place. So the premium isn't the issue, the payout is. Which brings us to the one thing you really need to do, and it's the thing almost everybody skips. Call your insurer before the vinyl goes on. That's it, that's the whole trick. A 5-minute phone call to your agent protects a purchase worth thousands of dollars. And when you make that call, ask 2 specific questions. Number 1, does adding a wrap change my rate? Number 2, what do I need to do so the wrap itself is covered under comprehensive and collision? Most carriers are just going to note the modification on your file. No charge, no drama, takes them 30 seconds. Some will offer you what's called a custom parts and equipment endorsement. Usually a small annual amount, and what it does is raise the payout ceiling so the film is actually included in the value of the vehicle. Now, why does the timing matter so much? Why before and not after? Think about it from the adjuster's side. If you report the wrap after you've already had a claim, they've got no record of what that vehicle looked like before the damage. They have no proof the film was ever on there. You're asking them to take your word for it after the fact, and that's a conversation you're probably going to lose. But if you disclose it up front with an invoice and a set of photos, there's no argument to have. It's already documented. Let me walk you through what that actually looks like in practice, because the difference is real money. Say hail dents your roof. If the wrap isn't on file, they pay for the body repair and that's where it stops. The film doesn't get replaced. You're paying out of pocket to rewrap that panel. If the wrap is covered, you get the body repair plus the rewrap. Somebody keys your door. Undisclosed, you get paid at painted panel value. Disclosed, you get paid at what it actually costs to rewrap that panel. Rear end collision. Undisclosed, the bumper gets replaced bare, and now you've got one mismatched panel staring at you. Disclosed, it gets replaced and rewrapped to match the rest of the car. And in a total loss, undisclosed, you get book value. That's it. Disclosed, you get book value plus the documented value of the wrap. That hail example is not hypothetical around here. Storm season across the OKC metro sends plenty of wrapped vehicles into body shops every single spring. If you've lived here more than a couple of years, you already know. So the gap between those 2 outcomes isn't a thought experiment, it's a bill somebody's paying. Now, if your vehicle carries your business name, your phone number, or your logo, that's a slightly different conversation. Your carrier may want that vehicle on a commercial auto policy instead of a personal one. And here's the thing people misunderstand that has almost nothing to do with the graphics themselves. It's about how the vehicle is being used. A personal policy can be voided for business use whether or not there's any vinyl on the doors at all. The wrap didn't create the problem. The wrap just made the problem visible to any adjuster who walks up to your car. So if you're a contractor or you run a service company around Oklahoma City and you're getting branded graphics on your vehicles, confirm your policy type first. Get that squared away before the install. Same idea if you're running a fleet. Companies with multiple wrapped vehicles usually already carry commercial coverage, but the graphics still need to be listed so replacement costs are accounted for when something happens. There's one more thing worth knowing, and it's got nothing to do with insurance. Your title and your registration list a vehicle color, and a full color change wrap can make your car look nothing like what the paperwork says it is. In day-to-day driving, not really an issue, but it can get confusing fast during a traffic stop or if you ever have to report the car stolen or during a claim investigation. If you're going from silver to matte black, it's worth checking with Service Oklahoma about updating the color on record. It costs almost nothing, and it removes any question about whether the vehicle in the report is the vehicle sitting in your driveway. So what should you actually have in hand when you make that call to your agent? You want enough detail that the wrap gets documented as an asset, not as some vague description. So the install invoice showing the total cost, the film brand and series that was used, whether the coverage is full or partial, the install date, and clear photos of all four sides once the job's finished. Keep a copy of all of it in cloud storage. Not in a drawer, not on your phone that you're going to drop in a parking lot. Adjusters accept photo evidence pretty readily, and a folder of finished shots settles most disputes about the vehicle's condition before the loss. Is the extra endorsement always worth it? Depends what you spent. A basic partial wrap on a work truck might not justify it. A full color change on a late model vehicle almost always does. The more you put in, the more the coverage is worth. Protective film is a different animal, though. Paint protection film is a defensive product. It's there to stop damage before it happens, and some carriers actually view it favorably because it reduces the severity of small comprehensive claims like rock chips and road debris. So ask whether it qualifies for any kind of modification discount. Not every carrier offers one, but the question costs you nothing. Here's the bottom line. A wrap isn't going to make your insurance more expensive in any meaningful way. But failing to mention, it can absolutely make a claim cheaper for the insurer and a lot more expensive for you. Wrap the car, keep the paperwork, call the agent. Do those three things in that order, and you've covered everything most drivers need to think about. And if you want an itemized quote you can hand straight to your insurance agent, we're happy to put the film specs and coverage details in writing for you. We're Car Wrap Oklahoma City, our shop's up in Edmond, and you can reach us at 405-669-4371. Give us a call, we'll talk it through.